Hello, visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. How are you? Welcome back to our Momentum Monday. Today is our episode 171. Yeah, and let's talk about how much you believe in yourself. Let me first welcome everyone. Now we're live inside of our Facebook group, Abundant Entrepreneurs. I'm super happy that today we're sharing this great Momentum Monday time, live time with you, all our great entrepreneurs, visionary entrepreneurs, life changers who are in this great community that we are supporting each other to grow together and also impact more lives. Super happy that every day I saw that quite of our experts and coaches and consultants have been sharing their great insights, life journey, and their expertise. So that's a wonderful community. Would welcome, some of you, maybe you are watching this replay from either our YouTube channel or from other, places. We are welcoming you to join our Facebook group, Abundant Entrepreneurs. Also, we will share this on our LinkedIn newsletter, a Pulse, called Pulse newsletter, Abundant Entrepreneurs Impact. So welcome all of you. Just join our community so that we have this great support and resources, and especially all these kind of talents and great minds to get great spirits and minds to support each other. So today, episode 171, we talk about how much you believe in yourself. Why I'm talking about this, through our market, through our clients, right, through our communities, even through our families, our friends, ourselves, and every day we unconsciously maybe you will meet this kind of a challenging question: how much do you believe in yourself? Maybe there's nobody is clearly asking this question to you, but there are so many situations, right, that things that's happening and also like decisions we need to make, and all are secretly, okay, maybe unawarenessly asking us this question: how much do you believe in yourself? For example, like now I'm witnessing my kids, right? Both my kids now teenagers. I've been witnessing them from the baby growing to like now great teenagers, but I also witnessed their, like when they were very young, before the 12 years old, they had no worries, almost like the whole world could be theirs. They just know how to play and have fun, have all this kind of creativity, exploration of the world, right? The first is the world, because I could not witness my own, let's say, go back to say my witness my own teenager time with this now kind of awareness and wisdom and knowledge, right? So now watching my kids growing up as an adult myself and watching them and to have all this kind of reflection, I feel like it's very interesting, right? So I've observed it's like a generic, because both the kids and other kids I witnessed, it's just a similar. I could not imagine, like when I was a kid, if I could go back dozens of years, going back to my teenager time, right? Then with the observer's side to look at myself, then I believe I will have a very interesting discoveries. But now I just use my kids as example, right? So before 12 years old, they had all this kind of beautiful childhood moments and just had fun, and for example go to Disney, love to eat those snacks and all those like kids things they love, right? And wherever I brought them to, and then like a zoo or amusement park, a Disney of course, right, and many other places, or even park or beach, they were so like excited and curious to explore the outside world. But after the teenager time, like after the 12, around the 12 to 13, now all their curiosity, right, from to the outside world now turn into inside world. They get to that kind of a more clear like awareness of themselves, of their like self being existence. It's very interesting, right? So our mind initially is just like an outside world. We get used, like get adapt to the outside world, and now since a teenager year, right, they get insight, awareness, their existence, and think about their life. I could not remember exactly which year I could remember my own existence and my difference from the world. So I had that kind of a initial feeling, very strong feeling about myself being and existing in this world. I still remember that kind of feeling. That's thousands of years ago. Still very clearly in my mind. That kind of feeling. One day, I just suddenly realized, oh, even though I'm in this world, but I am myself. I am different from other people or from the world other parts. That kind of thing I remember is quite early. So should be even before 12 years old, right? Much earlier than that. But I observe the kids is after 12, they are more and more conscious about themselves, and especially now with all these social medias, right? Kids turn to be like maybe even more mature. I don't know, it's good mature or bad mature, right? Than when we were kids. I remember when I was 12, 13, almost had not such kind of a big world in my mind. I was born in a small town in southwest of China, Sichuan province. It's like a hilly small county with a river, it's a very natural, beautiful place, and also very small town and limited people. So I know quite many people there, right? My parents, the family are, known by many people as well. So it's like a small, quite intimate environment, and my so I was quite concentrated in learning and studying and striving to be an excellent student, so that I also time at the same time the dreaming for a bigger world. So similarly, now kids are also like, even though they are in New York, right? Sounds like almost like a center of the world. In New York, they are still looking forward to some like dream world outside. By the way, yesterday my daughter was chatting with me, like she was getting into her daydreams while we were eating a casual lunch, right? And she said, "Mom, I'm dreaming about myself going to like Europe, living in, for example, a quiet and beautiful like town. I have my own, for example, a restaurant, and met her loved ones, something like that, right? So, oh, so fancy, so cute. So even no matter where we are located, small town or big city, everyone has a dreams. That's great. That's a beautiful part. I really enjoyed sharing that part with her, and I appreciate that she would like to share that part with me, right? Of all these fancy little girls' dreams, and but at the same time, um, you know, we could also, all these kids growing up in this kind of a nowadays more developed society, right? More social medias, so like more internet access, right? So it's almost like just staying anywhere. If you can access internet, in small town or big city, almost like know the world. I know, except China, maybe not so much, but in this, like in the US, I know that we can access information anywhere. So it's just like everything of this world, what's going on, the major things, right, the big things, and but it's still like you feel you are just like a still like in a limited zone, right? You want to reach out. So my daughter talking about those dreams, that's great. But at the same time, I noticed that more and more she has concern and judgment, and the majority of the time quite some negative judgment about herself. About herself. I still remember when she was quite young. I forgot when how old. Before 12 years old, I definitely I asked her, are you? Do you think you're pretty? Or some other questions, right? And she said, "Yes, I am." She's very happy and natural in very genuine response. I feel so happy for that. So also, yeah, great. I love that you have this kind of confidence in yourself and believe in yourself. Yeah. Today we're talking about the belief, right? So I loved, enjoy that moment she had that belief. But after the teenager year, right? Since the more, and now she's 16, since 13, around 13 to 16, because 13 she got an eczema, and a very severe asthma. She's been handling with it, and now 16. I just feel like girls, poor girls, has more stress, all this kind of a like social influence, right? They have more stress than boys, and they have more self-awareness than boys, and at least from what they express, right? And more negative feedback to themselves than boys. And boys are still like, okay, we go to gym. Of course, the boys also get that kind of self-judgment. For example, my son has been influenced by his friends. They're going to gym and practicing their muscles because I guess those boys are talking about the muscles will attract girls, right? So they are now, my son is almost like 19 or 18. So they are now that kind of age, want to be, they pay attention about their image. but they are not too much worried about that. Okay, so the majority of the time they just have fun, and of course they study well, and then they have fun. They go outside biking. My son even registered for like a triathlon. Yeah, triathlon. What is a biking club? Is a cycling club. So the boys are more into the physical part, right? Like of course like a study for their future career, and also like friends, and then it's a gym or exercise is a big part of them. That's a great part actually. That's a great to consume their energy, extra energy, right? So at least they get their body stronger. But for the other, they have more like a inner processing time, and also more time quietly hiding in their rooms and looking at the social media, right? That's a little bit dangerous, I would say. And so parents, you want to pay more attention, like how you influence your kids. At least they could have at least you know that foundation you can trust. You do not worry too much about they will be misled, right? Misled by all this kind of social medias, because there are so many. If I watch them, I see so many of skip. I just pray that my kids already like they've already been cultivated into such kind of a like let's say a person with their core values, and that core values could not be easily be changed by all this kind of social medias, right? But this kind of anxiety, self-judgment, I could see that kind of a disbelief in themselves, because now they realize their existence and separated from this world, and they most time they decide how to say they judge themselves, look at themselves through other people's view, other people's feedback, other people, right? So instead of giving themselves that kind of a like let's say yesterday we tried to do the affirmation exercise, and I was just like easily quickly get affirmation, and thanks for example to my coaching's experience, right? But my daughter gets such a difficulty to get to the point, to get to her affirmation. She's just like, oh, I do not believe in that part, right? For example, if I say some very good things, she said, oh, you just say that because you are my mom. You're just like I'm trying to flattering her. I told her, I said, come on, I'm an honest person, right? I always say the things from the truth instead of if I'm your mother or not, right? If you are like when you were young, I actually do not think you are not pretty. You think you are pretty, that's good. But now I think you are much prettier, and then you think you yourself are ugly. So I'm just telling you the truth, okay? Okay. So, and but they have a struggling. I just feel like so many people, right? They carry on that kind of a I could understand now more and more why people have a negative judgment to themselves, including all this kind of it could be like a rejection. Now rejection is not clear no. Last week we were talking about, by the way, to turn on the nose right into yes, but all this kind of invisible no's everywhere. For example, for girls, very simply, okay, girls, if you are beautiful, you're attractive, right? And other people's eyes automatically get on you, and you will feel that, and then you get you steal through other people's unspoken language, people's attention, your attraction to other people, to give yourself that feedback that, oh, I'm pretty. But if you are like so for example, my daughter did not attract that much feedback, right? That kind of feedback. So her conclusion to herself is like, oh, I'm just maybe either I'm ugly or I'm just ordinary. I'm just normal and ordinary, right? That sounds already like quite frustrating. So yesterday I was telling her, so no, come on, you look healthy, you look glowing, like you have the energy, you look pretty. So, and I told her, you do not need to compare with anybody. But anyway, sometimes kids will not listen to the parents, right? They will not listen to you. But similarly here, I'm not just talking about my kids, okay? I will get to a point. It's like for our entrepreneurs as well. The rejection is just unseen. For example, from me, I'm doing the presentation, right? I'm doing the speaking. If, for example, not just if, my social media, like my, for example, my YouTube channel, right, is not growing that much, not kind of impressive, even though I've been consistently and diligently and very like creatively doing my content. My daughter, thank God, she gave me feedback. She said, oh, your content is great, it's good at least, oh, but you're not attracting enough audience because you look like a ugly alomo. She's giving me that feedback. Or you are like Asian, and whatever, your English sucks. and your angle from the camera is also not good. She does not want me to look at the camera so closely, right? So, oh, maybe I don't know what's her point. Let me look at other place or other place. Do not look so like expose my face so big in front of a camera. I hope you as an audience give me honest feedback, okay? Instead of just give my daughter give me honest feedback. Oh, she's very bold, honest, and not so welcoming kind of comments to me, right? But I'm a mother. I'm open for her any feedback, right? So I'm taking it, but I want my audience give me that honest feedback. And I know one thing she mentioned also, like, oh, you're not funny, like you're not like of course I'm not so much like I know, right? So the Pamela, the president, the candidate, the vice president now, she's so popular because of the Brat. I think there's a music Brat, that album from England, and also from all this kind of TikTok jokes and whatever, and her dancing, her jokes with all this her exaggerated laughing, all these kind of things make her like a funny person, and quite some followers following her. So use that similar situation to analyze my situation, right? As an entrepreneur, even though I'm in this coaching industry for 15 years, and I've been contributing great value, great content, great inspirations, right? But people still judge you. Oh, you're a lady. Oh, maybe you're not so pretty. I'm not making any like makeup, right? I look just normal, ordinary. I'm a genuine myself. So I'm not trying to use my appearance to attract anybody. So of course that will lose quite some audience. And I'm not young anymore, and I'm an Asian, and I'm speaking English with accent, and I'm wearing just a normal, quite not fancy stuff, right? So, and my background is just my home, right? So all these kind of things could add into like if you are in this kind of situation. That's why many of our entrepreneurs, they're not to even open their camera to talk. They worried so much about all this kind of judgment, right? And they have that kind of judgment in themselves. So I'm talking about all this kind of invisible rejection. You can face that if you're not attracting enough people to follow you, give you praise. Oh, you're pretty, or you are this and that, right? Oh, you're great. Da, da, da. If you're not attracting enough, that you will have that kind of, let's say, you receive that kind of public, like invisible, unseen, unsaid, like not said yet, kind of a rejection, right? So all the kids, for example, we get to use the kids as example, okay, how we all grow from like a kids and teenager and now into adults, right? So this process will accumulate so many of kind of objections, like rejections, and also like a competition, right? The social media make it like, oh, those girls are popular. It's just like a public, let's say, popularity, and this society give you that kind of norms or rules. This kind of people, attractive, sexy, or whatever, wealthy, have money, right? And they are more attractive. So if you do not have all those kind of conditions, you're not attractive. So this society will tell you in that invisible way to tell you, okay, so that's a part of the rejection or competition in our life and in our business similarly as well. So through this kind of a journey, we accumulate so many kind of no's and the rejections, no objections, and also the competitions, right? All these kind of things. It's just like a negative feedback combined together to see that you are not good enough. That's outside sounds to us. And now your inside words will generate that kind of a doubt. Or maybe I'm not so good. Oh, I'm just normal. Oh, I'm just I'm not so intelligent. I'm not as smart as that person. And my let's say my score or my academic results is so just regular, and but other those smart kids, for example, those Asian kids, right? Even though my kids are Asian kids, but they're not typical Asian kids. Their math, for example, their maths are not so outstanding. Instead, their history is better than their math. So they have all this kind of a self judgment and feedback to themselves, right? And in our entrepreneurship world, similarly, we say, oh, that person did such a wonderful speaking, or that TED, right? TED talk is so good, and that coach is so successful, or that like a mentor is such a wonderful, like with a personal charisma, and oh, that person is so rich, oh, this person is so young, already made so much money, and they are all so smart, and I'm dumb, right? Just you will automatically, unavoidably, almost like as a normal person, as a regular person, as a natural person, you will get to that conclusion. I'm just a regular, I'm just normal, I'm ugly, I'm not so good, I'm dumb, I'm so, say like almost like my also like when they think about their dreams, my dreams are so beautiful, but then one minute they can get to beautiful fancy dreams, and another minute they get back to the reality. Was sigh. I'm so normal. Maybe that dream is too good for me, and I may never get there. I could only dream in that. How many of us are repeating this kind of drama inside of our mind every day? Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand. Be honest to yourself, because nobody can see that. Okay, maybe you see my raise my hands, but nobody can see you are raising your hand. Just be honest to yourself, and to admit that through our life journey, through our experience, that we've already accumulated so much negativity there, that get to our natural conclusion that we are not good enough. And especially, for example, and through your journey, you have not fulfilled quite some, like, even though you may have already made quite some accomplishments, right, some good accomplishments, but those parts could be easily forgotten by yourself, and you are still more focusing on what you want to achieve but still could not, or some more failures you've already had right through your journey. We had many, many more failures, countless failures, countless like not so good results, right? Or like mediocre results, or like failures, right? Sometimes it's very hard failures. And compared with our achievements, things that we're celebrating, the big things we're celebrating, right? Sounds like logically, if logically think about, sounds like our failures much, much more than our our celebration, than our achievement. Do you admit that? So sounds like now everything looks like, if I describe this, it looks like, there's no hope. There's no hope, right? Sometimes even the teenagers could say, there's no hope. Okay, we need to prepare for the college, right? And we need to get a high score of SAT, because now all the universities almost like, including Ivies or other university, after a pandemic, return to referring to those standards. They call it standard. I want to emphasize that standard, okay? Standard examinations, and to decide if this or that kids are good enough and to get into the good school. I could understand. They must have some reference. Otherwise, how could they decide, right? Only schools grades is not enough, because different schools could use different reference and different teachers. And so at least in not a perfect world, they use some standards examinations could be at least have like a sounds like a fair uh, foundation, fair judgment reference. But at the same time, people could not go there and to say, oh, some kids they have money to afford, let's say, afford the tutoring. Some others could not, and it depends on their parents, depends on their families, the financial situation, or the families, the parents' degrees, right? All this could make actually their kids' performance from different. So even the standards could still be not really standard, but it's as a rough reference. So anyway, the kids have such kind of a tough standards, tough criteria to meet. This is just like a filter from this society. If you are not meeting those requirements, if you are failed out, those top 1%, something like that, you will just go to like a regular schools, right? And some kids even just like, okay, some go to the Ivy, some did not. The society is already using all this kind of filtering system to differentiate people, and then put people into different classes. Did we see that system? The society has a system to put people into different classes, different levels. And but what can we do? We cannot change that big part. So now let's talk about this one. So now we understand the context, right? This whole context sounds like it's not so good for us to get to very positive feedback or belief in ourselves, okay? Because the outside is like, how many people are really like born beautiful, super beautiful and smart and whatever? If they have all this, how many people could have that? If all have that, if all, let's say, if all have that kind of higher standards of beauty and intelligence, everything, right, and the family conditions, then everyone will still be that kind of a top level of competition, right? Still like a differentiate like a different people, how we can, the society will still differentiate them by different criteria and filters to get them into different classes. Anyway, my point here is we are in this kind of a society. The society, people have like, oh, majority feedback is like people like, or people will support, or people will follow those ones who are more beautiful, who are more like who are younger majority time, right? And who are with more resources or richer, right? And people who have a more outstanding kind of a charisma. People are outspoken, people are bold, people are whatever. They're just like stand out from other people, right? So this society is following those ones, and other people will be like either you're quiet or you just like stay in the corner to self-judge yourself, right? So in this kind of a context, how could we still own our self-belief? So first I want to ask you, be honest, how much do you believe in yourself? Would you be honest to yourself? Use, let's say, use a 1 to 10. 10 is like you fully believe in yourself, you fully love, believe in yourself, and 10 is the highest. How much score you would like to give to yourself now? Give yourself that honest feedback. If it's under, let's say, 7, I would say above 7 is a healthy self-judgment, self-belief level. If it's under 7, that means you have a lower belief in yourself. Relative lower. I know some people we get like statistics is even like maybe under 3 or 4. It's horrible, right? Think about the whole world. Who is the real ally of yourself? Who is? Yourself, right? If you do not believe in yourself, if you do not, let's say, maybe not fully believe in yourself, right? If you do not in a healthy zone to believe in yourself, think about who else will give you that kind of belief, and how much struggling you are actually adding all this kind of overthinking, like dramas, self kind of a conflict, that kind of a, people call it a psychological or spiritual, both spiritual and psychologically, right? Mind, the mental struggling. So that's why mental health now it's like a hidden killer for so many people, from our young people to our adults similarly. And this part is like a hidden killers, and most people would not like to share with other people. They want to hide inside themselves. That's a, I just watched the movie. It's called Inside Out, right? That cartoon movie for kids, very popular, love it. And it's just sharing, is to help people to share their emotions and to get to that inner side of an analysis, all these different kind of emotions, right? Positive ones and negative ones, including the self-doubt, right? And that kind of a judgment to yourself. All these ones, how could you balance that? If you could not balance it, the whole movie is about the balance, and eventually the positive ones overcome the negative ones, and how eventually keep this person healthy and also like positive, and also live a happier life, right? And also more successful life. But if we could not handle that, if we let our negativity consume ourselves and doubt, self-doubt, that's the number one killer, I have to say. The mental health part, the self-doubt is the number one killer. That's a secret killing so many people, physically, including physically, right, suicides, and also like mentally and energetically, it's just consuming person, and people can get sick, very sick, because of their self-doubt, because of all this kind of negativity they have for themselves, right? And physically from your mental, and it can cause you physically being sick. So this is super important. So today actually is not just about mental health. It's really, we want to go to the next level, how you can really believe in yourself. Like I talked about it yesterday, my daughter and I was helping her to do her like affirmation, and she's gradually getting there. I encourage her to write down at least one sentence. She developed some versions, but I would say that I say, oh, if your this kind of a sentence is limited by a specific situation, then that's not a good affirmation. Find one affirmation that can support you through any kind of a situation. right? Through any kind of situation, and you can fully believe in. And you do not feel like, oh, I'm exaggerating or I'm cheating myself. Find something like genuine belief inside of it. So first I will share quickly, okay, quickly 4 points. Like first we need to find what's our true purpose or what's our life here. Understand our life's meaning. That's the most important foundation for our belief in ourselves. And the second one is really develop that faith. And majority of the time we could lose our faith in ourselves, right? Lose our faith in other people. It's very easy because so many complicated situations this world, and people's mind is so much, right? And you can easily lose your confidence or like a belief in yourself and in other people. So find your faith, something that's not depending on this world, not depends on anyone, not even depend on yourself, right? That's the most important faith. That's why where we find God, that's the true love and truth in this world. That something will not be changed by any situation or by year or by whatever situation, right? So that's super important. Point 2. And point 3, do the right thing. Do the right thing. We all have the God has that truth and that kind of a like inner wisdom voice always inside of ourselves trying to guide us. So we need to be quiet down when we have strugglings and challenges. Quiet down and to listen to that voice. And because it's sometimes because the world is so noisy, so loud, right? All these kind of videos or social media, whatever the noises and the judgments is so noisy. We need to find that quiet, very tiny, quiet conscience inside of ourselves and to listen to that wisdom voice. What is the right thing to do? Okay, and do the right thing. And number 4, give the credit to yourself. It's very difficult. We forget whatever we have already achieved, especially our efforts. I always encourage my kids, do not attach to results as long as you put your efforts there. You put all you inside of yourself. Instead of comparing yourself, or maybe another person is smarter than you, another person is prettier than you, another person is more capable than you, don't compete with that way. Compare with yourself. Like today, you're better than yesterday. And today you did your efforts. You made this. And doesn't matter what result it is. Give that credit to yourself and have that pat on your shoulder and give yourself that applause. And say the words like, for example, I would say, Spring, I love you, and I think you did a great job yesterday, did this and that. Give some specifics credit to yourself. And that every day keep this kind of habits to do, like in the morning and in the nighttime during the meditation. That will give a big difference to your life quality, that you will gain more belief in yourself. Because when you know that you can rely on yourself and you have that self-discipline, you have the purpose, the vision, the goal, and you do your efforts, you make your efforts, right, to try to achieve it, no matter if you can achieve it or not, because the results sometimes is out of our hand, because the whole world context, right, I've been talking about all this context, is so complicated, we cannot fully decide, oh, the results is exactly what we expected. But have that patience and still every day give that credit. Do the efforts, make the efforts, give your credit, accumulate every day, and make sure yourself will have no regret. Okay, do the things you should do and no regret. And sometimes we still make mistakes, that we're not perfect, but still give yourself that credit. As a human being, we are allowed to make mistakes as long as we always want to strive to be better and we correct this uh, mistakes and also like stand up from where we fall down and still give yourself that kind of credits. Okay, that kind of makes through those challenges. That's the biggest credit you should give to yourself instead of compare with even like a victory or like a success or achievements, right? When you fall down, when you fail, you can still stand up to have the belief in yourself. That's the biggest credit you should give to yourself. Okay, agree? By the way, sorry, today I could not talk too much more. I still need to commit my commitment to send my daughter to her badminton class as my promise to her. So do the right thing, right? But my heart is here to support you. And so that's the 4 major points I share with you. And I hope you will give me some feedback, what your inspiration and takeaway is from today. Okay, everyone, enjoy your Momentum Monday, and I would encourage you to develop just at least one sentence of your self-affirmation that can support you through any kind of a situation. And I will definitely, when you comment, I will definitely give you feedback, okay, and will support you, and maybe give you some like a valuable feedback and how you can improve from there. All right, so let's support each other and to make through and to really through all these kind of challenges and no's and rejections, competitions in this world, and build up that kind of loyal, genuine, and positive, abundant belief in ourselves. All right, we'll see you soon. Okay, bye bye.